Right, welcome back, and in this section we're going to talk about writing your goals. Would you tell me please which way I ought to go from here? Well, that depends a great deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. And that's a bit from Lewis Carroll's book Alice in Wonderland. And it's certainly true for goals as well. If you don't know what your goal is, how will you know when you get there, or even if you've got there? We've looked at the wheel of life, and you've rated yourself in each area of life, giving yourself an indication of how well balanced you are in each of those areas. Now, it's important to be true to yourself in your evaluation. The idea is not to have a perfect 10, well, that would be great. It's not about being a perfect 10. More importantly, it's about having balance. So imagine if in some area of your life you were 8 and in another you were 1 or a 2. Now imagine if that was the wheel that was actually on your car. What kind of a ride would that be? Well, of course it's going to be a very bumpy, wonky ride, and probably it's going to damage your car. Well, this is the same in life. So it's all about getting balance. It's useful to set yourself a goal for the areas of your life that, might not be doing as well as you would like, so that you can achieve more of this balance. Now, if you looked at those questions, those additional questions after the wheel of life in your manual, then that would have helped you to get some idea of some of the goals that you may want to set for yourself, or areas of your life that you may want to work in. Like we said, as you work in one area of your life, then often that'll have an impact on other areas of your life. So, for example, if you get the job that you want, then that might increase your finances, which in turn also increases your ability to spend time on your health and your fitness, or take the family on that holiday. And so next, we want to look at writing our goals as SMART goals. Now, you may have heard of SMART goals before. And the standard abbreviation would be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed. Well, from an NLP point of view, we look at a couple of extra words in there as well to really knuckle down and get this goal really specific so that we can focus on going ahead and achieving that. So ask yourself, what is it that you really, really want to achieve? Write down all your goals, everything that you want to achieve. Remember, if you were laying there on your deathbed, what is it that you would like to have achieved that you wouldn't want to say, I wish I did that, or if only I've achieved this? Now, the goals can be short-term or long-term. The short-term goals can sometimes be clearer than the long-term goals, but don't make a rule out of that. You see, we don't always know what the long-term goals are. However, it could be very, very clear for you. So let go of all of your doubts and everything that's held you back in the past. Dare to dream big. Your goal needs to inspire you. So if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? What will have a massive impact on your life that you could go and work towards now? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? What is that burning passion that you want to have or want to follow? Now, the first thing we want to do is, once you know what that goal is you want to create a very clear internal representation. Remember, we spoke about that during the NLP communication model. And so let's say that the goal was to lose 10 kgs. And what you'd like to do then is get a clear picture on your ideal weight. What would be your ideal weight? What would you look like? What would you feel like? What clothes would you be wearing? How would your clothes feel on you? What would you be saying to yourself? What would you see, taste, smell, hear? So you want to get a really wonderful sensory-specific crystallization of that goal. Having this beautiful internal representation of you having achieved it. And then you want to write down your goal. Now that you've considered what that is that you wanted to achieve, and you have created an internal representation of having achieved it, write your goal as a SMART goal. Let me give you an example. I could say, it is the 1st of December 2017. I have made £1 million or $1 million during 2017. I'm sitting on the couch with my wife and we are looking at the bank statement that shows the money that's been banked. The sliding door is open and I can feel the cool sea breeze as it cools us down from the bright sun outside. I can hear the children playing with the dogs in the kitchen, and I have a feeling of excitement as we now can plan this overseas cruise with the profits. You see, that goal is very specific because it says how much I've made. It's measurable as I can quantify the amount by looking at the bank statement to measure what I have achieved. It's as if now, because I said it is the 1st of December. And is it realistic? Well, I could work it backwards and show how actually I would have achieved that. It's also responsible and ecological. It does no harm to anybody else. Remember ecology? What will be the impact on the client, their family, society, and the planet if the client gets what they want? So if somebody says, yes, I've made $1 million and I did that by robbing a bank, well, that's not going to be ecological. It's towards what I want. An away from goal would be something like, I am no longer broke or I'm no longer struggling for money. And there's a major difference between a towards goal and an away from goal. Remember that we want to state our goal in the positive. So if your goal originally was something that you don't want, then ask yourself, what is it that you do want? We also then want to give this goal's got to be very specific in its date. As Milton Erickson said, he said a goal without a date is just a dream. So goal setting requires you to commit to saying by when it is that you're going to have achieved this goal. It's actually also a good idea to share your goals with other people. You know, often people don't want to share their goals because they're scared of what other people might think of them. Other people might just be jealous of your goal, and that can be for a number of reasons. Either they don't have goals of their own, or they just might not want you to succeed. Whatever their reasons, that's their problem, not yours. It's your goal that you're working towards. Sometimes people don't want to share their goals because they're scared about what would happen if they fail. That the other people might laugh at them or ridicule them. They're scared somebody might say, well, why do you want to rise above your station? Do you know what? It's better to have tried and not succeeded than never to have tried at all. Remember that it's not your responsibility for other people's goals or their comments. Don't worry about other people. You also want to achieve your goal by being in charge of achieving that goal. So, meaning that you've got to be in control to be able to get it. Now, sometimes you might be reliant a little bit on somebody else needing to play a small role. But for the most part, you should have total control over achieving that goal. And when you write down your goals, have them in a place where you can see them regularly and preferably look at them every day. They should be visible to you. So this could be next to your computer, in your study, somewhere where you're going to see them every day and you can reflect on them and you can ask yourself, what have I done today to move towards my goal? What am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing the next week and the next week? You can also add pictures of your goal. So if it was a car that you wanted, cut out pictures of that specific color, that specific make and model of that car, and put it there next to your goals. We'll actually talk about the reticular activating system during the live training and explain more about how this is important for achieving your goals. We'll also look at how values interact and affect your goals. So, for example, if you were to create a goal for being wealthy, but you had this underlying value or thought that money is the root of all evil, then probably it's going to be a problem for you. Similarly, limiting beliefs about your ability to be able to create wealth. So we will talk about values and beliefs and how those interact with goals as well. So for now, just go ahead and write down 3 goals, short-term goals that you can achieve in the next 3 to 12 months, and 3 longer-term goals that you'd want to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years maybe. Remember, Lao Tzu said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So go ahead, write down your goals. So that's it for writing your goals in this section. In the next session, we're going to talk about time management.